This is a 2026 GMC Sierra 3500 SLE. And I'm going to explain to you guys why people buy this truck over Ford. I borrowed it from Jerry Seiner GMC here in South Jordan, Utah. This truck is available for sale. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker so you guys see some of the options and features on this build. At the very top is the description. Coastal Dune is the color with the jet black interior. And then here is a short listing of the standard features. Be sure to pause to see more. Now, base price is $58,600, and then the diesel option is $9,990. SLE value is $2385, and then preferred package is $1415. Sierra HD Pro Safety Plus is $1195. Trailering mirrors heated $515. And then Coastal Dune was $495 with the trailer tire pressure finishing off the options. Destination is $2595 for a total price of $76,740. Let's answer that question really quickly. Why do people buy the GMC HD over the Ford Super Duty? Now, we are talking specifically about SLE versus XLT. Maybe one day I'll have to drive one of these trucks over to the Ford store so you guys can see a good comparison. But first and foremost, on the very front end of this truck, you guys see it does have the premium lights. And what's kind of criminal is if you get an Ultimate, it has the exact same lights with this sequential turn signal, dual projector. Now, these fog lights, I believe, are an option on SLE, but you have the LED fog lights down below. If you do want premium lights, you do have to pay extra for it on the Ford. And remember, this truck has a lower starting price, I believe, compared to the XLT. Now, you guys see those front parking sensors? That was an option too, as opposed to Ford. They don't give you front parking sensors as an option, but you do have an availability to have rear ones. So with this truck, they don't just give you rear, they give you front and rear, and that 360 camera is an option too, which Ford does give that to you as well. Now, that front hood scoop is functional, and when I think about the pricing of a truck like this, you're probably going to pay about $5,000 more for an XLT, and then in some cases there are some options that are missing on that truck. So that's just something you have to consider there. But I will say, overall, old man tan is what I call this on this truck, because you have all this chrome, and this was a very popular color back in the 90s and 2000s. I remember seeing sable a lot back then, and then somehow that color went away, and now it's back again, just a little bit more cooler. Here's what I'll tell you though. I wish GM would just stop messing around and just give this truck an option for painted bumpers. I think that it would make so much sense on the SLE, SLT. And I get that some of you guys might say, well, you can get a Denali, and that is true, but sometimes people just want cloth seats, and I get that. And all this chrome just doesn't look that great on this Coastal Dune, in my opinion. Now, you can paint the wheel arches on this truck to match the truck. But yeah, at the end of the day, I would like to see maybe another trim level for those who may not want all the chrome. Independent front suspension. And that's the main reason why people buy this truck. And then here are the tires, which are the Michelin LTX AT2. So off-road tire, 275 7018 LT. Now, as far as the capacity goes, it's showing here at 3,640 pounds, 80 PSI cold, made in the USA, load range E, 8 lug wheels. And these wheels don't look bad, but if you do want a 20, that is available for the SLE. And that's what's nice about this truck, is they do give you that option for a little bit bigger tire. And that'll be with the X31 package. Here's some of the badging. And then you have these forward lights here. Turn signals built in. You have this light here for backing up, and blind spot alert, power folding mirrors too, painted door handles. You do have an option to get smart key system on this truck, obviously, as you can see, and on the XLT, so that's available for both. Only Ram loses there because they don't have that for the Bighorn, and that would pretty much compete with this trim level as well. largest bed in the segment if you don't want a long bed. That's another good benefit over the Ford too. Now you have a 36-gallon fuel tank, which is 2 gallons larger than Ford's in the standard bed. However, if you go long bed, Ford wins there. I will say 7-gallon DEF, and they don't really give you any like skid plate availability for the GM trucks, except for that DEF tank. And you won't have one for the transfer case on this truck because it didn't have X31. No liner out back, but I believe you can get that on this truck. 5 leaks in the main pack, 2 overloads, wax coating on the frame, and out back you have these incandescent taillights, steps built into that rear bumper. You can see those parking sensors, class 5 hitch. Camera provisions was an option. 7-pin right there. Incandescent license plate lights. Automatic locker too, by the way. And then here's that spare tire that should match what's on the truck too, by the way. Yeah, that's a Michelin tire. That's pretty cool. But you know, you have a Steely for the wheel though. 342 with that diesel. And let's see, is this assisted? It sure is. Now this truck doesn't have 5th wheel prep package, but it does have bed lights, 400 watts of power. If you don't get the Pro Power with the Ford, you don't even get this. And I think Ford should change that. Be sure to check out my Juggernaut straps that you can put in the bed. Gives it an OEM look. And then bed view was an option on this truck too. You have LED lights. This was an option. Defrost is on this too. And no sunroof. And I like the fact that this truck has clearance lights too. And here is a nice side view. If this color was like 2 to 3 shades darker, it would really look so much nicer. Here's that 6.6 liter DURAMAX V8 turbo diesel, good for 470 horsepower, 975 pound-feet of torque. All that power does go through a 10-speed, stamp-approved Allison. They're going to continue to use the name, as you guys know. And I always point this out because I want to help you guys out. If you want to use my promo code down below, you can get that relocate kit for these sensors. One here, one here. These are your manifold absolute pressure sensors. Because of the EGR, you get a lot of soot here. And if you want to keep your truck long term, these sensors are going to get so dirty to where you will have to replace them. They won't be able to be cleaned. I have about 20,000 miles on my truck. I'm going to show you my sensors here. Now, when I basically clean these, that's all I was able to get off, and they're still dirty, right? And I use almost half of a can at that point when I sprayed those off, and they're still pitted with that soot. So I highly recommend you take them out of the stream, because it gives you inaccurate readings for like your fuel economy. It could affect your performance, and you don't want that on your truck, especially if you drive a lot of miles a year and there's nothing you can do to get around that soot in the intake manifold. But overall, this is a good engine. Has the Denso fuel pump and injectors, which are reliable. Let's go ahead and check out the interior. If I were looking at Ford versus GM, just for the interior alone, I would pick this truck. Now, you do have 2 interior colors for GMC, same thing goes with the Ford. However, Ford has this work truck interior, which I can't get down with. I'm sorry. Every time I see it, I just have like this look on my face, that stank look. And when you see the GM truck, it just looks so nice. It works. And listen, guys, 10-way seat on this truck is available. On the Ford, it makes you work hard to put the seat back down because it's still manual. However, you can slide it with power, and lumbar's power too. Now, again, GM needs to make these seats bigger. Ford does have a little bit bigger seat, but I like the overall design of these seats. This interior does work. It does have a lighter color roof. I can knock it for that. But regardless of it, it's still a little darker than what Ford has. So if you have dirty hands, or if you just like the interior to all flow, that's kind of why I like having the black roof. It's still going to be a little bit darker, but that's okay. And I will say the stitching does match the color of the roof, so they do actually give it some accent here. Now, as I said, on the outside, you do have those power folding mirrors. However, tow mode is manual. No seat memories, but you have a lot of nice attention to detail on this interior. They do a great job on the GM trucks. Now, no 4-wheel drive auto, Your drive modes are here, so you have off-road, normal, and then tow haul. All your lighting controls, electronic parking brake. Now on this, you see, you have a tilt and telescoping steering wheel. Grab handles right here. Let's go ahead and check out the back next. And then we'll move over to the passenger side. But yeah, this is really nice. Air vents down below. This is the 6 passenger, so you don't have that center console. And they put this power plug back here, 2 USBs. And this one does still have the storage. Remember, some of these things are an option. So you can always go back to the beginning of the video and look through some of those features and see what was standard and optional. Flat floor surface. Manual seat on the passenger side. I'm not upset about that. You're going to save a little bit of money getting this SLE, so you know you're going to see some of those missing features, obviously. Now, one thing I like about this truck is they do give you a rating for a bed camper. Okay, so 3,143 pounds. With Ford, you have to get a camper package. So I would like to see Ford make that standard too. Hopefully they do that in the future as well. Let's jump back over to the driver's seat. Oh, real quickly, you guys see the animations. That's pretty cool they give that to this SLE. But yeah, push button start. Now, dual climate control is not available for XLT, but this was an option on this truck too, as you guys saw on the window sticker, okay? Now, let's go ahead and put my seatbelt on real quickly, because I want to show you guys the camera system.
This vehicle is in demonstration mode, connected by OnStar's high-speed 4G connection.
So if we put it in reverse, you guys see your cameras. The sun is right behind us, and I like to show it this way because you guys can see how clear the cameras are for GM trucks. They do a great job here. Their camera system is easier to use because this menu stays up here. It doesn't go away like on the Ford. And I would say that theirs is better than even Rams. Rams is kind of confusing too, in my opinion. They don't have a dual stage exhaust. That's something that they need to add too. Also, lane keep assist. This is an alert, so it's going to vibrate the seat. This right here is your parking sensors that can be disabled. You can drop the tailgate. You know, I didn't mention, but they did take away the multi-pro tailgate on this truck. And I always forget to talk about that, but they don't give you the power up function. That's something I wish that GM wouldn't have done too. It's kind of silly. You can drop all the windows down together. Your trailer brakes right there. Heated front seats. Also heated steering wheel. So this truck does still have a lot of nice features too for the price point. I mean, and that's what's nice about GM trucks is the way they package them. You get a lot of nice features for the money, for sure. I mean, this truck is under $80,000, and probably with incentives, you can probably get this truck right at 70, if not right below it. Just above here, HomeLink is there, LED lights. Now your lights are missing for your vanity, but that's okay. I'm not gonna beef about that. And this is an entry level truck, I would say. It's just a step up from the work truck model. Now, if you go to, oops, I hit the wrong thing. You have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, obviously. Nothing new there. Your climate can be controlled on the screen, or you can do it outside. I like that. If you go to settings, there are some nice features in here. I've just been learning a little bit more each time. So I go to vehicle. Let's just go here first. You have to make sure this is on in the wintertime. That way, if you remote start the truck, this truck does have remote start, right? So because you have the remote start, if you do it in the morning time, that will allow the truck to high idle for you automatically, okay? And the further you go down, you'll see for remote lock, unlock, and start, see remote window operation. So you can actually put the windows down with the remote as long as this is on here, and it gives you an explanation of it right there. You guys also know you can take things out of this menu here. And that is pretty much all I really care to show you guys. This is pretty customizable too, but I would like to see more temperatures there. Let's go ahead and check out the numbers on the door, and then that would pretty much end this video. Gross axle weight rating out front is going to be 5,600 pounds. The rear is 7,250 pounds, so this is class leading actually for single rear wheel. 12.1 is the gross vehicle weight rating, 18 by 8 wide wheels. And all in payload capacity, like, that is dang good. Really good towing capacity. Now, it doesn't have fifth wheel prep and running board, so that could drop it a couple hundred pounds by itself. So 20,000 pound conventional towing, 21.6 for gooseneck, and then this truck has a 8,057 pound curb weight, 30,000 pound gross combined weight rating, and then here's that yellow sticker showing you the tire pressure. So 80 out back, 60 out front. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Is this a truck you would buy over the Ford, or would you just go ahead and pick the Ford because it does have its advantages? Let me know below. See you guys soon.